All right, what's up, y'all? It's Will with Schedule Fly, and I got Scott Maitland on the phone. Long-time friend, long-time customer. Always one of the first few people we go to for just thoughts, advice, opinions, creativity. He's got Top of the Hill Restaurant and Brewery in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and also TOPO Distillery. And Scott and I've, we've talked a lot of times. You've heard Scott on the podcast. He's been in the video series. He's been on the he's been in the first book, and he's got a whole lot going on. And before we started recording right now, he was just talking about how he's now making hand sanitizer at his distillery. So that's not something you ever thought you'd be doing, was it?
Locally sourced organic hand sanitizer,
Organic
baby.
hand sanitizer. Wow. When did y'all? Okay, when did y'all start doing that? And were there regulatory issues with that, or how'd that go down?
That's right. It literally was not legal for a distillery to do this until what's today, Monday? So 10 days ago. And even as it is, it's still sort of in a gray area. The FDA announced a sample memo that said that they would not go after distillers that were making hand sanitizer. And so we took that as a green light to start doing it. There were some people that did it before that, which I was like, well, it's just against the law. And technically, I guess it's not any less against the law, but the FDA did have this memo that's unofficial saying they wouldn't, prosecute folks that did it. But frankly, the ethical and urgent need, especially among first responders, got to the point where I was like, screw it. I mean, come at me, FDA, if I'm doing some kind of bad thing. So in any event, we started making this stuff in earnest 8 days ago, and we've distributed now, I want to say, 175 gallons of hand sanitizer, maybe 200 gallons of hand sanitizer to first responders. And then we have found, willing paying customers in like trucking companies, and then like other restaurateurs. So the head of the local group of Jersey Mikes in this area was good friend of mine. He coached my son in wide basketball and all that. They just bought a bunch of hand sanitizer for their operations, so we're looking at getting into a contract with UPS and FedEx and talking to Dollar General. I mean, so it is an interesting thing is that folks in our industry, whether it's the restaurant industry for curbside or pickup, we're still on the front line, as are all the retail clerks that I feel a lot of affinity for, because I feel like we're kind of in the same boat. And so there's a lot of people, quote unquote, on the front line that don't have much protection, and the ability to provide this stuff for them is great. And then obviously, trying to get it to the real, the police, the fire, the ambulance drivers, to help prevent the pandemic from spreading. And then, it's great that I want to provide this to like the Dollar Generals of the world, but obviously they can pay, so that works out and allows us to give stuff free. So it's been a little hectic, completely creating a new business model from scratch, on the fly while selling stuff, but we feel like it's getting under control.
Dang, man.
There we go.
How do you make it?
Well, so, normally hand sanitizer is going to be made from isopropyl alcohol, which is a byproduct of refining petroleum. But that's why, rubbing alcohol is so cheap, because they're cranking it out just like any other petroleum chemical. But ethanol, which is the basis of all of our great liquor, all of our whiskeys and vodka, etc., ethanol is also effective as a sanitizer. And so there is a World Health Organization recipe that calls for mainly ethanol and then some hydrogen peroxide and some propylene glycol. and you put that in, and the result is a runnier, more watery substance than you're used to with the gels.
Yeah.
But my conversations with the first responders is that they actually like it because they feel that the watery stuff gets in the cracks and the stuff in the cuticles better than the gel stuff. So the feeling is that this is really good. So it's science. That's what it comes back down to with the FDA and all of that. It's like, this isn't something that you're going to be ingesting and needs chemical trials. Human beings have been dealing with ethanol for literally thousands of years. We understand it, and so it just get out of the way and let some people make some stuff that is going to help stop the spread of this thing.
Well, the thing about the gels too, I feel like sometimes is, for me, my experience is always, it's like you can get too much, and then your hands almost feel like it's almost like your hands are sticky, so they're going to pick up yeah. I mean, they leave, like if you wash them afterwards, like a couple minutes, you can feel like this residue that's still there, and you're like, oh man, that stuff's like kind of, I don't know. So that's amazing that y'all are doing that, and you're able to do it so quickly. And there's a great example of the creativity and nimbleness of a small business that has regulatory burdens eliminated. Maybe not officially, but it's amazing what y'all are able to do. And then the other thing that you told me, which is just fascinating, I want to hear more about, is the when you started Top of the Hill, was it 25 years ago? You had a founders club, and now you've reinstituted that.
That's right. So basically, when I was trying to start Top of the Hill I came up with the idea in '94, and it really heated up in '95. My landlord was not interested in giving me the space unless I could prove to him it was going to be successful. And so, how do you do that? I took him to restaurants and all that. He was unhappy with that. He said, no, I want you to prove to me it's going to be successful here. And frankly, I think it was his way of, trying to show me the door. But I came up with the Founders Club, and I said to people, give me between $100 and $1,000. I'll give you twice that amount of money in restaurant credit. I'll put your name on the wall, and I'll give you a T-shirt. And so I ran that for about 6 months, and I raised about $75,000. And, that turned out to be a significant source of funds. That was never the point of it, but it was a significant source of funds. But over the years, over the last 25 years now, we opened in '96, so I guess the last 24 years, people have asked, well, how can I get my name on the wall? And we realized, in light of, we're trying to cover our staff's health insurance. We had to lay almost everybody off. We furloughed everybody, and then we're bringing back a couple of folks on half pay. But we're trying to cover everybody's health insurance. All your listeners of your podcast are going to be painfully aware of what I'm talking about. So I realized it was time to redo Founders Club 2.0 and give people a chance to get on the wall and all of that. So I redid the deal and said, give me between $100 and $1,000. I'll give you twice the amount. I'll put your name on the wall, and I'll give you a free beer every Carolina home game, regardless of any sport, if you come up and say you're here for the game. And so, and that's for life. So I'm thinking it's a pretty cool promotion because people are signing up for it. And it took me 6 months to raise $75,000. It's only taken me 3.5 days to do that now.
Holy cow.
And yeah, my goal is to raise $400,000. Now, admittedly, giving free beers during Carolina home games and all that stuff, has a lot of interest to folks. But I hope to be able to use this money in terms of keeping my team intact as we weather, the unknown waters that are in front of us.
Scott, man, golly, you have always just blown me away with how quick your mind works, how creative you are, how you are a full-on true entrepreneur. I can't believe you went to law school. Like, wow, because I went to
law school to be a small business person. Because I left the Army with the firm conviction, never let somebody stupider than me.
Yeah, that's why you. Okay, that's right. Because you weren't going to be a lawyer. That's right. I forgot about that. Because you are a full-on born entrepreneur. It's very clear, and these are just two incredibly creative ideas that you're navigating while also navigating this uncertain pandemic and being forced to close or mostly close except for takeout and dealing with all this legislation going through and everything else. Man, I think that's phenomenal. Well, then where do anybody listening? Do they go to your website, right? To if they want to be in the Founders Club.
Yeah.
So next time they're in Chapel Hill,
just go to thetopofthehill.com/shop/Founders Club, or just go online. You'll be able to navigate it to it, and they can do it. But I will tell you this: that to be fair, I think the reason why I was able to whip out Founders Club 2.0 so fast, it was something that that Guy Murphy, my right-hand man, and I have been talking about for a year or two anyways.
Yeah.
And, of course, we'd already done it one time.
Yeah.
And not to sound like I'm promoting a product, but, we just switched over to Toast POS system, and we realized that they have some capabilities that would allow us to implement this in a very slick way.
Yeah.
And so, it was something that was kind of cooking on the books, and us thinking about deploying this next year for our 25th anniversary. We thought, well, you know what? Now's the time. Let's fire this thing up. I'll tell you what, this is the craziest part to me about the whole story. I was just trying to put functionality on the website that would support somebody signing up for the Founders Club, and I thought I'd put it together correctly, and so I wanted to make it live just to see if it really worked. And so I made it live, and before I could actually do it myself, somebody bought one. It turns out it was a buddy of mine from law school that was trying to buy a gift certificate to support me, and he found the Founders Club, signed up before I did, and I was like, holy smokes, and it just went viral from there, man, and so it's been crazy. So, sometimes you get lucky, but it's great because it's helping me with the short term. But I will tell you that I also feel like, the silver lining of this whole COVID thing is it is a chance for us to re-engage as communities. And, and I'm guilty of this too. You create things, and then maybe you kind of forget what the heart of it all really was. Or maybe you get all too busy just to realize that it's about friendships and relationships and all of these things. And in some way, if we survive and if we reopen again, I hope that I've learned my lesson and I don't take those relationships and friendships, I don't think I ever took them for granted, but I just, you get bogged down with the troubles of every day, and I'm hoping this is a reset for us and we can remember to be thankful for what we have.
Oh, dude, I could not agree more. My wife and I were just talking about that yesterday. That we're like, man, I think just all of us are probably going to have
a month ago. What was the crap? A month and a half ago, what were we worried about?
Yeah,
I can't even remember.
Exactly. I can't remember. Things are going to it's forcing us to slow down and probably live a little bit simpler. And amen for that. And look, I mean, while there's this duality where independent restaurants got hit hard, and y'all don't have the. You don't have the scale and all the benefits that you might have as a chain, and of course some of the chains are going to probably have a hard time with this too. But nevertheless, I mean you're on low margins and getting ready to go into busy season, and now you're forced to shut down. And it's while you've been hit as hard as anybody, the flip side of that coin is because people are doing exactly what you just articulated. I think that independent restaurants, when this all settles and people move on, that's people are remembering now. Like, God, I don't want my favorite restaurant. I don't want Top of the Hill to close. What can I do? How can I help? And they go buy a Founders Club, or they order takeout, or they, whatever they do. Yep. People are supporting people all over the country. I mean, there's I don't know. I think I sent you and Brett this the other day. Marijuana over there in Asheville at Chaipani's auctioning off stuff. I mean, there's all these really cool, creative ideas that are coming out of this that a lot of them will endure. But certainly they're reminding us all how much we love independent restaurants, and we love gosh, we love being around our friends. I mean, I've been drinking beer with buddies over Zoom. I mean, I haven't seen anybody in forever. So just to be able to go out to a local place, it's a local business, whether it's a restaurant or a retailer, and congregate and hang out. And in y'all's case, it's the warm, genuine local hospitality. Every dollar you spend at a local restaurant is going back into the local economy. There's just a million reasons that the industry as a whole, while it's a tough bit here, it's hopefully it will come back stronger and wiser and better. And like you said, we will kind of get back to the core and the essence of what we do and why we do it in the first place, right?
No, that's right. And I don't know. Are you familiar? Have you heard about the Carborough United effort?
Nope. What's that?
So, restaurants in Carborough, which is, for those of you that don't know, Chapel Hill is right next to Carborough. It's almost like we're the same town, but we're not.
Yeah.
Anyway, some restaurants in Carborough like Acme and Glass Half Full, and they were able to put something together where they're doing family meals drive-through 3 times a week. So people place their orders, and then they have a refrigerated truck from U.S. Foods. People come up, and it's just curbside. Hey, here's your family dinner for 4. Boom, taking it off. And I've heard of similar efforts around the country. But the point is that the innovation and just daring that everybody has been doing has been great, and it's good to see, and it's ultimately why we're going to get through all of this, because we are going to get through all of this. I just guarantee you. There's just no way we're not going to not get through it, and it's I don't know. It's an amazing time. I mean, it would be interesting. I keep thinking about sitting around having a beer, laughing with my friends 20 years from now, talking about going through COVID.
Yeah.
It's going to be like going through the Great Depression or something like that. So, anyway, it's been it's a joy. It's a joy to see the connections that independent restaurants have with the community. I've been brought to tears numerous times. And then it's weird. Like the guy that's so check this out. We're going to. Well, today we gave hand sanitizer to Nashville, Tennessee, because Nashville, Tennessee got destroyed by the tornadoes a couple weeks ago. Right. And so anyways, a guy who had his wedding rehearsal in our event space at Top of the Hill, the Great Room, in 2018, works for Axon, which is the company that provides all the body cameras for all the police. And so they are helping us distribute sanitizer to first responders in need, and then they're buying a bunch of sanitizer to us that they're going to distribute under their labeled brand, just to help reinforce as a nice thing to do from their company. So, but all of this starts off because the guy was a customer of ours and ended up have his wedding rehearsal with us. And so it's kind of weird to see all the combinations of relationships that get built.
Oh, it's amazing, man. That's amazing. Well, my friend, I won't keep you because I know you got a million things going on, but I appreciate this. I know everybody listening will appreciate this. You're always just a source of optimism and creativity and just strong energy, man, strong positive energy. You got a great force of personality, and it always comes across, Scott, and it always gets me energized. So I appreciate it very much, and we're thankful to serve folks like you, as you know, and even more so right now.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, I appreciate everything you're doing for us and for the community, and always have. And it's nice to have. I don't know how many folks are going to listen to this, but again, stick together and Top of the Hill, thetopofthehill.com. My name's Scott Maitland. Reach out to me if I can help in any way.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you might get some calls about some sanitizer. Well, look, people are. The good thing is, man, people are listening more and more. I mean, obviously they got more time to listen to podcasts right now, but I think a lot of people want to know what's happening with independent restaurants. And I just saw today, for iTunes under the category of entrepreneurship, I think yesterday, for the first time ever, we broke into the top 100 podcasts under entrepreneurship.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Fantastic. Yeah. I mean, we're doing this series now called ONWARD, and I took that, he knows it. I took the word from John Seelbinder over in Raleigh, because that's the sort of the rebranding he's done for his whole group. And John's been through a lot with his business the last few years, but I love that word so much because that's exactly what you're doing. Like, we can't control what's happened. There's nothing we can do about all this. Government's making shut. All we can do is just go move onward. And there you are coming up with this amazing product for first responders and people in need with the distillery and revitalizing the founders program. And all those folks are just going to. They've got skin in the game right now, and they're what a loyal following. You've already had a loyal following, and they'll just double down on the loyalty at the top of the hill now. So I tip my hat, man. Love it. Great idea, and appreciate it very much.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, will you do me a favor when you have a chance?
Yeah.
So every one of these I'm doing now, I'm sticking the person's like a selfie up of the interviewee on Instagram. So if you have a chance, toss me a selfie, text me one, or and if you happen to have any schedule fly gear around, throw it on. If not, it's fine, of course. But
yeah, actually, I got an old trigger head in there. Yeah, I can do that.
Boom.
I'll fire it up.
You the man. Appreciate it. All right. See you, Scott.
All
Thanks,
right, buddy.
man. See you.
Thank you, man. Bye-bye.
Bye.